Stand, please. This honorable court is now resumed. God save the King.
Hoye, hoye, hoye. All manner of persons having anything to do or say at this His Majesty's Court of Assize, Oyo and Termina and Jail Delivery, now to be held here this day, before Her Ladyship, the Honorable Mrs. Justice C. Lawrence Beswick, one of His Majesty's Judges of the High Court of Jamaica. Let them come forth and give their attendance, and they shall be heard. Hoye, hoye, hoye. God save the King.
You may be seated, please.
If any persons to the number of 12 or more, being unlawfully, riotously, and tumultuously assembled together to the disturbance of the public peace at any time after the passing of this act, and being required or commanded by any one or more justice or justices of the parish or place where such assembly shall be, by proclamation to be made in the King's name, in the form hereinafter directed, to disperse themselves and peaceably to depart to their habitations or to their lawful business, shall, to the number of 12 or more, notwithstanding such proclamation made, unlawfully, riotously, and tumultuously remain or continue together by the space of 1 hour after such command or request made by proclamation, then such continuing together to the number of 12 or more, after such command or request made by proclamation, shall be adjudged felony, and the offenders therein shall, upon conviction, be liable at the discretion of the court to be imprisoned for life, with or without hard labor.
Well, before Mr. Taylor starts, I think in the circumstances it would be appropriate for us to pause for a moment's silence in view of the fact that we have lost Her Majesty. So I would invite us all now to pause to recognize that sad occasion. You'll stand, please. No. May the soul of Her Majesty and the souls of the faithful departed rest in peace.
May it so please your ladyship and honorable custodies. Today marks the opening of the Michaelmas term. And this year, it should appear, it will not be routine. Well, as Milady has pointed out, Her Majesty has passed. And we all now have to be doing linguistic gymnastics, getting used to saying the king. Titles have changed. Indictments may even have to be repurposed in this far-reaching change. What, however, remains constant is the number of cases before the Home Circuit Court. And this term, if Milady, honorable custodies, you have the statistics before you, this term we have some 847 matters to be tried or dealt with between today and the 20th of December. Milady, although the number looks formidable, I will take some comfort in small things. On the last page of that report, Milady, it actually represents a decrease in the numbers coming before the Home Circuit Court, both in terms of cases traversed, which are some 730, which marks, I probably would round it off to a 31% decrease in the number of cases being traversed. And the 847, which marks the total cases at commencement, it's a 26% decrease. Milady, it is a small percentage, but we hope it's the beginning of a trend. We hope we will see that cases will be disposed of faster in this term. We hope that we will see lesser cases, a lesser number of cases being traversed. I think the only thing that will remain constant, Milady, is that committal proceedings brings cases to the court much faster than the old system of preliminary inquiries did. At least under the old system of preliminary inquiries where you had to take evidence, the number of cases could be staggered as they came to the circuit. Now that they are done on paper, they come fast and furious. Milady, the number of cases before the circuit, the 847, when you look at the breakdown, and we have discreetly separated them, Milady, into, I think we can say, general offenses and sexual offenses, which are their own peculiar category. We see that murder has not yielded its crown. It is still in the empire of iniquity, king of sin in these courts, with some 357 matters. In fact, Milady, if you add the manslaughter and the causing death by dangerous driving, it is nearly 370 matters that deal with a fatality in which somebody has lost their life that are before this court. And that number outnumbers many other parishes in this country. The number of sexual offenses, Milady, continue to be of some concern because next to these offenses, next to the murders, some 282 are before the court. 147 rapes and over 83 sexual intercourse with a person under the age of 16 years. The list, though smaller this year, still remains formidable. And we will all have to work together, both bench and bar, to break the back of this list. To that end, we give our usual undertaking as the Crown to try and move the matters expeditiously. Where we can, if we can use our persuasive powers on my learned friend to accept pleas. Where we can, to have trials move faster to see if we can agree facts or statements. All this in the hope that we can as I was indicating, that we will all have to work together. And I have given the usual undertaking of the Crown that we shall try to have these matters dealt with expeditiously and without delay. And see, as I indicated, see if we can move the trials faster by also using certain legislative enactments, especially in relation to agreed facts. And agreed statements. May it so please with the lady. These are the opening statistics for the Michaelmas term of 2022. Unless there's anything the lady wishes me to assist her, this is the presentation.
Thank you very much, learned Senior Deputy. Appreciate your presentation. And I am quite alarmed at the number of matters which are before the court, though I recognize, as you have done, that it represents a decrease. So we are heading in the right direction. Thank you so much.
good part is that Zoom hearings are here sit and wait on the truck for the accused to be here for court to start for mention matters. They can be zoomed from the facility for which they are housed. Similarly, attorneys don't have to travel from the near and far parts of the island of Jamaica which they reside to attend court for mention matters. They can do so from the comfort of their office or sometimes their homes. This is also in the civil realm, where Zoom is now a fixture in chamber matters. And we recognize that advantage that we have gained from the COVID pandemic. We have also, as the COVID pandemic has taken a few of our colleagues away, and while we remember the deaths of the Queen and those of the faithful departed, we also remember our colleagues, both at the bar and on the bench, who we have lost in this past legal year. And we do mourn their passing and do regret that we didn't get a chance to, in our usual way, to pay respect to them as we normally would do. I must convey my condolence to the DPP on the passing of her father, and I know that the proceedings for her service is tomorrow, and on behalf of the bar, we do offer and we ask you to convey to the DPP our deepest condolence on the passing of our father. I wish to remind my colleagues at the private bar that in doing our part for ensuring that the wheels of justice remain turning, we need to be present in court on time. We need to remember that when we are on the Zoom hearing that we are actually in court, and we ought not to be driving our cars to another destination while appearing in court. We also know that we must keep our phones on silent when we are in court so that the court is not disturbed by the various ring chimes and ringtones that we have attached to our phones. The core values of the court are fairness, accountability, independence, integrity, impartiality, respect, commitment, courtesy, accessibility, responsiveness, and empathy. We need to remind the public of that the court is in fact independent and a separate arm of government from the executive and the legislature. We all heard our learned Chief Justice in his interview last night, and we endorse and applaud him for the changes that he's implementing to ensure that the administration of justice will meet his target goal to be one of the best in the Caribbean in 3 years and one of the best in the world in 6. We will play our part. Whether the police who investigate these crimes, the police who man the court, the clerks who are in the courts, the registrars, the probation officers, the prosecution, the defense, and the judges. We will all play our part to ensure that Vision 2030 is achieved, that we can all make Jamaica a place to live. Don't remember the exact words. Do business and raise our families and retire in peace. I heard at the opening of circuits a young lady sang that song, and we must remember, peace begins with us. No one else can give us peace but ourselves. If it is that someone is disturbing us, they're only disturbing us because we are being disturbed. If it's not a disturbance to us and we can ignore it, we ourselves can be at peace. And not every issue needs a reaction. Not every situation requires a reaction. And we need to understand that as Jamaicans, to temper our reaction in certain situations, that they don't explode to the position where they have to come and face Mr. Jeremy and his colleagues in a situation where they have gone awry in failing to temper their reaction. I ask the Lord, to keep on blessing all of us, not just the King, as we endeavor to continue the process that we have in ensuring that this arm of government would be the pinnacle for the Jamaican people to look up to. May it so please you, my lady.
Thank you very much.
Oh, for my name is Jacqueline Cummings, for the record, sir.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, Ms. Cummings. Ms. Cummings was the former president of the Jamaican Bar Association. Thank you for those words and for the commitment. I need to immediately thank so many persons who have made today's proceedings run smoothly. I start with the police outside. It's not an easy thing to be standing up in the very hot sun at attention for several minutes while you are being observed and examined. I thank them for that, and I thank them for the music, which, though reduced because of the passing of Her Majesty, still energized us. I thank them. Please, officers, let them know that we are grateful for the part that they played. I thank also the court staff, the registrar, and her supporting staff, who do all the background work, as well as the other police who are here. Thanks. It doesn't just flow as easily as it looks. There are details that need to be looked after, and they have been looked after well. Now, I feel very privileged to have sitting with me this morning Dr. McGregor to my right and Mr. Forbes to my left. Mr. Forbes is the Custos of St. Andrew, and Dr. McGregor is representing Custos Fuller of Kingston. Thank you both for taking the time to be here today. You are part of making this whole ceremony vital and important, and bringing it to the people to let the people understand that we here in the judiciary have a very important role to play in society. Now, I reflected on what I would like to share with you this morning as we gather here to mark the opening day of the Michaelmas term 2022. And I thought that perhaps I could start by reminding us all of the advances made in the administration of the justice system. But we all already know of the progress made towards the stated goal of Jamaica having the best justice system in the Caribbean and one of the best in the world. We know of the successful strategies employed for effective case management and for certainty in the setting of trial dates. So I thought I would urge us instead to collectively and individually work towards making the system of justice operate at its optimum level. But I accept as true the expectation that each of us is already actively contributing to the system in his or her own way. Who among us does not know that jurors play a critical role in ensuring that trials are held? Every single one of us understands that the police work tirelessly to serve, protect, and reassure our communities. I know that it cannot be successfully contradicted that every citizen of Jamaica knows that he or she has a personal duty to follow the laws of the country and to assist wherever possible to keep our country crime-free. The judges and the attorneys at law keep abreast of new laws being passed with the intention of improving the status quo, including, for example, the Fisheries Act. The Firearms Bill before Parliament is another. We stay alert to their progress and to their effect, and equip ourselves to apply the laws of Jamaica. So I asked myself, do I need to urge any others to collectively and individually work towards making the system of justice operate at its optimum level? I think not. So then, what should I share with you this morning? It came to me that, in truth, our national anthem beautifully encapsulates all that we should remind ourselves of, not only for our justice system, but for our nation as a whole. There we ask the Eternal Father to bless our land, and we specify certain areas. We ask him to keep us free from evil powers. These words cause me to pause, and I invite you to pause with me. Even as you pause to remember Her Majesty, I invite you now to pause with me to remember our citizens whose lives have been stolen from them in astoundingly evil ways. We ask earnestly for Jamaica to be made free from any evil powers stalking the land. When we make this plea in the anthem to the Eternal Father for safety, we ask him at the same time to grant our leaders true wisdom from above. A wisdom which will teach leaders to care for Jamaica's citizens in the provision of proper education for our children and social and health services which cater to the needs of all, but especially the needy. We must ask the Father that our leaders' wisdom will extend to fully attain the goal of an excellent system of justice, which dispenses justice in a timely manner. That wisdom which we ask for on behalf of leaders must be such that they are wise enough to conduct fair trials and to discern and apply fair and effective punishment as required. And of course, that wisdom will walk hand in hand with knowledge, and knowledge to make informed decisions. And it must be accompanied by a deep and true respect for all. With those supplications in the anthem answered, I dare say that it will inevitably follow that our response to duty's call will be stirred, and that can only lead to a better Jamaica. There in the anthem, we then ask the Eternal Father to strengthen us, the weak to cherish. Those words show that we have the appreciation that we as a country are only as strong as our weakest. Our judicial system must cater to them and assist them. We ask the Father further to give us vision lest we perish. It is that vision that allows us to recognize that we need to ask for strength to meet all that is required of us to help Jamaica to flourish and not perish. The words of our national anthem encapsulate the sentiments that I know that we all hold as we strive for Jamaica to be a fair, knowledgeable, and secure society. one in which we show care and respect, especially for the weak. Of course, for our part, gathered here for the opening of circuit, we focus in particular on the justice system and its efficiency. And our aim must be to provide justice for all. My fellow citizens, gathered here, the sentiments that I wish to share with you cannot be better said than is already articulated in the national anthem. I need not attempt to use any other words. We need now only pause for reflection and then action. I speak confidently on behalf of the entire judiciary when I say that we pledge to do our part to deliver justice in a fair and timely manner in this, our beautiful country. Today marks a timely reminder for us all to strap on our working boots and refresh our efforts to make Jamaica the best Jamaica that it can truly be. Justice, truth, be ours forever. Jamaica, land we love. I'm going to ask if you will allow me some indulgence further to what learned counsel Ms. Cummings spoke of, that we have lost some of our members. Please allow me a personal moment to recognize my husband, who was one of those lost. I just bring the matter for the attention of the court because he's just one of many who served, tried to do his best for the administration of justice. And I like to think that he succeeded. He has stood beside me from when I was at high school until I was appointed and worked as senior puisne judge. He has been steadfast in his support of me and our family, and he is a very large portion of why I am the person that I am. Whether that's good or bad is for you to judge. But forgive me for being personal, but I thought I had to recognize him because I know that if he were with us in the flesh, he would be right here. So I'm sorry for that personal intervention, but he was special. And of course, many others were special, and I recognize them also. But enough of that. What we're going to do, we're going to strap on our boots and get back to what we do best, which is to try to make Jamaica the absolute best place that it can be. Thank you so much for tolerating me. I have totally enjoyed this experience, and I hope you have also. And I also hope that I give you something, some little thing to think about. Just try and help even one person to be better. Just look at all the privilege that we have sitting here. Let us share it and try to make Jamaica the place that it can be. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay.
Stand, please. This honorable court is now adjourned. God save the king.
Okay. Come.